Happy New Year, sports fanatics. Big Al here. Hope everyone had a great weekend and a great new year. I had an awesome weekend, got to chill with the family, watch a ton of sports, and also got to celebrate my beautiful wife Andrea's birthday on Friday. So overall, it was awesome. We had a ton of awesome games this weekend, so let's get right into it. Here's your shot of sports from the weekend. The college football playoffs took place on Saturday, and both of these games were epic. The first game was at the Fiesta Bowl, where Michigan faced off against TCU. This was a crazy back and forth game. TCU ended up winning 51-45. Fun fact in this game, in the third quarter, both teams combined to score 44 points, which is crazy, and that's actually the most points scored in a quarter in playoff history. Michigan was favored to win by 7.5 points, and I picked Michigan. They ended up losing, so I lost on that one. The best thing I saw this weekend was actually during that game. Robert Griffin III, aka RG3, who's an NFL former quarterback and current sportscaster for ESPN, was at the game. During the game, while the cameras were running, he got a call from his wife that she went into labor. And cameras showed him running off the field during the game to go be with his wife and family for the birth of their child. It's their fourth baby. In the second game, Georgia faced off against Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl. This was also a high-scoring back-and-forth game. Georgia won the game 42-41 behind a last-minute touchdown pass. Georgia was favored to win by 6.5 points, and I picked them to cover the spread. Game was closer than I expected, so I also lost my bet on that one. So the college football championship is set. Georgia is facing off against TCU, and the game will be in LA at SoFi Stadium, where the Rams and Chargers play. This game will be taking place next Monday on the 8th. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a crazy game. Another game I had my eye on was the Orange Bowl on Friday, where Tennessee faced off against Clemson. Tennessee ended up winning the game 31-14. Clemson was favored to win by 6 points, but I picked Tennessee to cover the spread on that one, and they had a blowout win, so I'm glad I got to win that bet. In NFL news, the Miami Dolphins faced off against the New England Patriots in New England. I had my eye on that game because in fantasy football, I had Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback for the Dolphins, playing, and so I really needed him to show up big for me in this game. Well, he didn't. He only scored 11 points for me in fantasy. He got hurt during the game. The New England Patriots ended up winning the game 23-21. New England was favored to win by 2.5 points. I bet with my heart on that one and picked the Dolphins to win and ended up losing that bet. Another big game that I watched was the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings in Green Bay. I picked the Vikings to win that game, and they ended up getting blown out by the Packers by a score of 41-17. I was also keeping an eye on this game for fantasy football reasons. I have Justin Jefferson on my team, who's a wide receiver for the Vikings, and was hoping for him to have a big game. However, he only ended up with 1 catch for 15 yards. Really let me down. I had the Vikings to win this game, and they ended up getting blown out, so another bet lost for me. In Sunday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers faced off against the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers won 16-13 behind a last-minute touchdown pass by the Steelers. The Steelers have won 6 of their last 7 games. They're really on a streak right now, and they're still in the hunt with 1 week to go in NFL football to make the playoffs. The Ravens were favored to win this game by 2.5 points. I picked the Steelers and won this bet. Overall, in football bets this weekend, it was a really rough weekend for me. I only won 2 bets and I lost 5 bets. I know a lot of you are dependent on me for your sports betting information, and I'll try to do better. Let's take a look at the NFL playoff picture with 1 week remaining. In the NFC, the Eagles, Niners, Vikings, Bucks, Cowboys, and Giants are in the playoffs. Fun fact about the New York Giants, it's their first time being in the playoffs since 2016-2017 season. During that season, the Giants were scheduled to square off against the Green Bay Packers in the wild card game. A week before that game, there was a picture that surfaced of the New York Giants football team on a yacht in Miami having a good old time instead of preparing for that game. Well, guess what happened? The Giants ended up getting blown out. Many say that that boat picture cursed the team because since that picture, they were very bad. They had multiple losing seasons, but now they're back in the playoffs and have broken the curse. In NFC news, the LA Rams have lost again. They lost to the Chargers. Fun fact here, The Rams' 11 losses is the most losses in NFL history by a defending Super Bowl champion. They had a really rough year, and it was primarily due to getting bit by the injury bug, just like what happened to my Cardinals this year. In the AFC playoff picture, the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Chargers, and Ravens are in the playoffs. Still in the hunt, we've got the Jaguars, Patriots, Dolphins, Steelers, and Titans fighting for a spot. The Chargers made headlines this weekend with their win, guaranteeing them a playoff spot, which is the first time since 2018 that they've made the playoffs. 1 week to go in NFL football and a lot of spots still to be filled for the playoffs, so there's going to be some interesting games for sure. In college basketball on Saturday, America's favorite college basketball team, the University of Arizona Wildcats, headed up north to face the ASU Sun Devils. The Cats ended up pulling off a tough, hard-fought win, 69-60, behind 21 points from our star player, Azuolas Tubelis. That's another win for the good guys. We've got some great games going on today. Let's get into it. We've got tons of football action today. In Monday Night Football, the Cincinnati Bengals face off against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are favored to win by 1.5 points, and also if the Bills win this game, they take over the #1 overall seed over the Chiefs heading into the last week of the season. I'm thinking my boy Joey B, Joe Burrow's gonna have a huge game for the Bengals, and I'm picking the Bengals to win this one. In college football today, we've got 2 big bowl games taking place. In the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, where the Cowboys play, number 10 USC is facing off against number 16 Tulane. USC quarterback and future NFL quarterback Caleb Williams got hurt during the Pac-12 championship game just a few weeks ago. He ended up finishing that game, but Utah blew out USC, primarily due to that injury by Williams. Williams said he's going to be playing today in the bowl game, and I think with him being out there and he's an impact player, USC is going to win pretty big in this one. And of course, we've got the Rose Bowl game taking place in Pasadena, California. Utah is facing off against Penn State in this one. Odds makers are calling this game a real close one. Utah's only favored by 1 point. I think Utah's defense is going to be too much for Penn State's offense to handle, and I'm picking Utah to win this one. All right, sports fanatics, that's all for today. I'm going to get out of here and watch some sports. I'm going to touch base a little bit later on this week with some sports updates. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you soon.